All right, welcome to the show. I got to talk. I'm going to take you back to 1977. We are going to talk about an album called Ram Jam by a band called Ram Jam. Classic album, baby, classic. Has the big hit, still played on finer classic rock radios wherever you can find them. Black Betty, a lot of you know that song. I got to tell you, man, I got my copy of that record on vinyl. I dropped it on the turntable, dropped the needle down. Black Betty, man. Those killer rock and roll guitar chords coming at me, guitar licks just burning all over the place. What a fine, fine record. I think they made 3 albums. They made 2 in the 70s. The follow-up to the first album wasn't as good. The other one, they may have made that in the 90s or what. So far off from what they did in the 70s, not even worth talking about. But I'm going to tell you right now, that first album, Black Betty, Keep Your Hands on the Wheel, Right on the Money, All for the Love of Rock and Roll, Too Bad on Your Birthday, Overloaded. I mean, I could go on and on and on, man. The song's just kicking. Great album. I'm going to try to quote a few lyrics here. I won't get them exact, but close enough for rock and roll, as they say. All for the love of rock and roll. I don't care about the money, I ain't seen none. I don't care about the women, because you just need one. The reason I say it, you really ought to know, it's all for the love of rock and roll. What a great rock and roll sentiment. What a great lyric. Another song on there, Keep Your Hands on the Wheel, and the lead singer does a falsetto singing the parts attributed to the female character in the song. I'm cruising through life with no blinders on. I'm trying for the line between right and wrong. But there's always something shaking wherever I go, and I'm always saying yes when I should say no. I said, come here, sweet thing. Let me show you how it feels. She said, let go of me and keep your hands on the wheel. Keep your hands on the wheel, I got to get a grip. Keep your hands on the wheel, won't you play with my stick? Keep your hands on the wheel, I can't help it if I slip. Keep your hands on the wheel. Rock and roll poetry. It's a great album, man. If you can find it, it's out of print. It came out briefly. Back in the day when I lost my album, and it was out of print, I went to a record convention, ended up paying $35 for another copy. Back in those days, man, that's what we did. We went to record conventions where they had just tables and tables of vinyl, man. Hard to find vinyl. I paid lots of money for lots of records. That was one of them. I paid about $35. But anyway, man, great record. They released it on CD. There's a couple releases on CD. Golden Classics, which has the first and second album, if you're, interested. And they released the first album on CD. So if you can find it, eBay, something like that, look for it, man. It's a great classic 70s rock and roll album. I don't think there's a ballad on it. It's all boogie rock and roll 70s, in your face, just fantastic, man. So grab a copy if you can find one. Subscribe to the channel. Come on back. We're talking about music, songs. We are talking about songwriting. We're talking about the music that inspires us as songwriters, and we are just having a good time. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Come on back, man. It's low budget, but it's a low budget blast. Come on back.